The message just repeats. Regret, regret, regret.
Catchy. Any idea what it means?
Dear humanity, we regret being alien bastards. We regret coming to Earth. And we most definitely regret the Corps just blew up our raggedy-ass fleet! Hoorah! The fire on that bulkhead. As soon as that door opens, let them have it.
Hello there and welcome into episode 35 of Reminiscing with Shady. I'm the, speaker of this series, Shadylikeatree. And this is Halo 2. This is the first time I actually came back to this game since, I want to say, the mid-2000s. I was in high school at the time that I was playing this. And this is one of the few games in the series that I didn't actually own, but I felt compelled to do an episode on because of what it meant for my gaming habits. So, I played Halo 2 at a friend's house, and there are a bunch of stories I'm going to share here in a minute, but basically, I never had an Xbox, an original Xbox. I got my first Xbox 360, in Modern Warfare 3, when that came out. What is that now? 2 Novembers ago. So I've only had an Xbox for 18 months. But what we would do is my friend would have these Halo parties, and he would hook up a bunch of Xboxes together using the LAN connections, and he would invite 20 people over, and we would all play this shit out of this game all day, like at his house. And his mom and his sister were like the hosts of this party, and I was bad then, and we used to play online Slayer of teams of like, I think it was teams of 4, or teams of 8 or something, I don't know. But basically, I was the worst player, and I always got picked last for teams. And then I started getting kills, and then it wasn't that bad. But this was really the first multiplayer shooter experience I had with friends. I know that that's kind of an odd kind of first to mention, but I mean, it really was. Up until this point, I had almost exclusively played Madden and baseball games. I mean, I had played Croc and Crash Bandicoot and things like that, but I hadn't played any true multiplayer shooters, grown-up shooters, if you will, games that were rated mature, like Halo, until this point. And one of these times, I remember I specifically left the party early, because I had accidentally hit his little brother in the face with the controller, and I felt kind of bad about that. But the guy who kind of introduced me to Halo, and in a way, my introduction to Halo was kind of my introduction into shooter gaming, and really my first true multiplayer experience, as I just said. But I don't speak to him anymore. There was a girl, and it was complicated, and he got mad at me for things I didn't even do, and so we haven't spoken since like junior year of high school, which is like literally a year after we got introduced to this game. And he was literally my best friend for like 2 years in high school, and then he just decided one day that I was an asshole and didn't want to speak to me anymore. And I've talked to him, I think, one time on the phone. I asked him about a flash drive one time on the phone, and I'm like, dude, you're an asshole. I'm never talking to you again. So, yeah. And this is actually, I've chosen this level for a reason, and I chose that first little bit of clips for a reason. One of the things that I really like about Halo 2 is kind of the dialogue. You know, when I was friends with this guy, we used to quote this dialogue back to each other like a bunch of fucking nerds. But that was my favorite part of this game, because he wanted to beat the co-op mode on Legendary, and he entrusted me, and he's like, just don't die, and I'll take care of everything else. Because, I mean, he'd already beaten it on Legendary twice by himself, and he needed somebody to do it with him. So I was like, alright, I'll come over and we'll play. Because he lived literally maybe 6 houses away from where I lived at the time. And so, you know, it was like, 2-minute walk, not even. So anyway, kind of another story. Halo 2 kind of came out when I was in high school. I think it was 2004 when it came out. I'm going to double check that real quick, 1 second. Okay, I was right. It was November 9th, 2004 when Halo 2 came out. And I had played this this is kind of like I said, my first experience with shooters, or what I'll call professional shooters. And there's really 3 kind of revolving stories I have around this game. The first one is that there were some bomb threats at my school. There was a series of bomb threats in 2004 at my school that were unrelated to Halo, and so that kind of gave somebody, I don't know who, the idea to call in a bomb threat at the school, so they or we could get out of school to play this game. And of course, called in a bomb threat right before lunch. Lunch was at like, I think, 10:30 at that time, so we had been there since 7. And so school was let out at 10:30 because the way I guess it worked is if you can't feed us lunch, you can't keep us there. So they just like said, well, it took them at the end of it, because they used to take them like all day, 6 hours to clear the school. And then by the time they were done and they got their system down, or they just didn't give 2 fucks, they only took them like 45 minutes. So then people were calling in bomb threats right before lunch so they could get out of school. So anyway, so that happened, and I went and I played with another group of friends, not the friend that I mentioned that I don't speak to anymore, but a completely different group of friends, and we played, I think it was 4v4, there were 8 of us there. We're playing on 2 Xboxes or 3 Xboxes, I don't remember, and that was kind of my first experience with this particular Halo, and I don't really know how to play. I'm kind of very bad at Halo. I know that BR is pretty awesome. 3-shot burst should take care of most enemies, but other than that, I don't know a whole lot about the game. But anyway, then there was this other story that I have from Halo, where actually led to my first encounter with women, which is kind of interesting. I was at my friend, his name is Sam, his party, and after a couple minutes, or I had been talking to his sister about how to make the nachos, because they wanted my nachos. So I just told her, I was just like, you just put this in a bowl and microwave it for 5 minutes, and then you pour it over the nachos when you're done, and then you put the cheese on the top, and then it's like simple enough. And she's like, okay, well, can you come in the kitchen, can you show me? And I'm like, I guess. So then we proceeded in the kitchen, and I put the thing in the bowl, and I'm like, here, this is how you do it in case you need to make more. And then pop it in the microwave, turn around, and she starts making out with me, and I'm like, whoa. And now his sister was really hot, like incredibly hot, but she was kind of weird because I wasn't Catholic and she was, and I didn't understand that at that point in time and whatnot. And I don't know, it was just a weird situation because I liked her, she was hot, dude, her tits were fantastic. I know I'm getting a little off topic here, but so we kind of just made out for like the 5 minutes. I was kind of glad that no one came in, and I don't think my friend ever found out about that. I never told him. I don't know if his sister told him or not, but nothing ever really came of that relationship. But still, it was kind of like my first make out at a party with a girl. I was like, I don't know, 15 at the time. Not quite I was not even 15 yet, or was I? No, I was 15, yeah, because 2004, yeah. I was 15 at the time, so it was like my first like real. And she was a year behind us in school, so I think she was like 14, and now she's a doctor in like Uganda or something, helping the small babies or small children get AIDS vaccines or whatever. So I think that moving forward, it was just a fun time, and I love those parties, and those were really like the first time where I felt like, oh, it's okay to play the other games that aren't Madden and still be cool. And I really, like I said, I didn't develop into a true gamer until like college. So it's this game is what it is for me in terms of, I had my first kind of make out session at a party with it. And on another level too, this was kind of a different game than a lot of the other things I had seen. I mean, I was used to strange characters and whatnot, but aliens, futuristic, in space, I mean, you can't really top that in my mind. And I just bought Halo 4, and there's already a video up on this channel about my first Halo in a very long time, and I had actually been trying to practice this level because this is my favorite level in the game, because of the dialogue, because of where you are and whatnot. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. I certainly have had a blast sharing some of my stories with you guys in relation to this, and it's too bad that I'm not friends with that guy anymore, but in a way I think we kind of outgrew each other and outgrew our friendship. But I hope you guys take care, and this has been episode 35 of Reminiscing with Shady. This is Halo 2. Catch you later, guys.
Sir, permission to leave the station.
For what purpose, Master Chief?
To give the Covenant back their bomb.
Permission granted.